Okay, with that, we are going to start with Captain Louis Fetherolf. He's the chief for the police department in the city of Elsinore. And he will start with his presentation. And welcome, Louis. I know you're in your busy schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I kind of have an idea what it is I'm supposed to do, but I feel somewhat like Elizabeth Taylor's sixth husband. I've got an idea of what to do, but my challenge is to make it interesting. So, some of you have been to a couple of these meetings before. I may be doing some repeating for the sake of just general education. My challenge today is to pass on information to you about what contracting for law enforcement services means. Let me start that with some general statements. In order for a city to become a city, the city is required to be able to provide public safety, primarily fire and police services. The city has an opportunity to choose how they will do that. One would be to hire a complete police department, a police chief, officers, etc., and make the capital investment in all of the equipment that's necessary, cars, and so on and so forth. And the other is to contract with the sheriff of the county for law enforcement services, and the sheriff's department then provides those services. That is, in fact, what the city of Lake Elsinore does. That is what the city of Temecula does, and 13 other cities in the county. I have the privilege of being the commander of the Lake Elsinore Sheriff's Station. We cover the area from Murrieta North to Corona South, the top of the Ortegas at the Orange County line over to the city of Paris. So we have a large county area that envelops the city of Elsinore in the middle. I have deputies specifically assigned to the county area, and under the contract for the city of Lake Elsinore, I have deputies whom we call officers assigned to that contract. The cars that they drive around say Lake Elsinore Police in the city, and in the county it says Riverside County Sheriff. For the city, those folks know me as Chief Fetherolf. That's what the sign says. In the county, they know me as Captain Fetherolf. Sometimes people wonder how those two ranks, but I suppose it's not too big a deal. Basically, I'm in charge of running that station and providing the services to the community. My main challenge is to make sure we have as many officers / deputies out there as we possibly can to provide our services. Within a city, we provide all of the services under the contract. That is to say, the Sheriff's Department generally in the county does not do traffic enforcement. That lies within the purview of the Highway Patrol. We are certainly capable of doing it and have the authority to do it, but out of respect for our Highway Patrol, we have the responsibility directly for the state highways and county roads outside of cities. We leave it to them. We only get involved in traffic services when it's an emergency or upon request. In the cities, however, we provide the full services. We have motor officers in Elsinore, and we provide traffic accident investigation and a full range of community of police services for that municipality. The same would happen if we were contracting for the city of Wilmore. One of the predominant questions I'm often asked is how would that change the officer per thousand population ratio if Wildomar incorporates? Would I be assigning more people to the contract than are assigned in this county area as it is? That's a difficult question to answer because it depends on, number one, how many officers that the city wants to, when the city does incorporate, will think positively, how many officers they would like to have patrolling the streets and what that ratio would be. The Sheriff's Department typically will not contract with a city for lower than the Sheriff's Department standard. Now that standard is a little fuzzy because it depends on the community. Communities that have very low crime problems typically you can get by with fewer deputies or officers per thousand than those who seem to have much more crime and we require a greater presence in the area. But it's all what the city pays for. It's simply a contract for services. There will be a captain assigned, since I'm the commander of the Elsinore station. It will be my responsibility to run this contract. And so my office will be open to all of the community in Wildomar as it is present, except that you'll be then the city of Wildomar, and you'll be dealing specifically with services as a city would like. All of the city council folks will have some direct input then and how the city is policed, and so on and so forth. In terms of The cost involved, that's not my specialty. My specialty is leadership and management and directing the services. The Sheriff's Department submitted a proposal early on, a year and a half ago, I think. I participated in writing that. I don't know if it's changed much since then, but I will not be specifically addressing just how much it costs one versus the other. But simply to say we will be providing all of the police services that we do now, and then some, because the contract pays for more. What will happen in the city of Wildomar is there will be specific officers assigned to the contract. So they come to the city of Wildomar and they work in the city of Wildomar and basically stay there throughout their given shifts. As we do with the city of Lake Elsinore and the surrounding county area, if someone in the county needs help and there are officers available from the city, they go to the county and back up my deputies in the county. And the reverse is also true. As a general rule, we keep the officers in the city, the deputies in the county. But there's a certain fudge factor there where my primary concern is for their safety and their welfare as well as the citizens of the community. So we move those resources around. One of the nice things about contracting with a sheriff's department as opposed to providing your own police department is you have all the resources of the county sheriff at your disposal. Some would say, well, they are presently at our disposal as well because we live in the county. Well, that is true. However, politics being what they are, pressure is brought to bear for additional services and priority services in cities versus the county. That's just a fact of life. And so we try to be as responsive to those people in the county as we can. And as the city incorporates, and you have X number of hours of deputies, officers, I should say, assigned to that contract, my staffing goes up just to deal with that so that we don't have to take away from any of the service provided in the outlying areas of the county. Okay, I'm on 15-minute time frame. How many minutes? Okay. Let's see. Yeah, let's take a few questions. I want to hear what's on your mind as well. Perhaps I can shed some light on a compelling question you may have. Sir?
Just a curiosity question. What happens to the highway patrol piece of the law enforcement that's provided today under the city's area?
Well, the highway patrol then would simply back out of the equation. What's nice about having those folks around is they back us up as well as they're available. But they would no longer have primary responsibility for traffic services in the city. That rests with the city.